Hello, everybody. I'm just going to tweet out that I am live, and then we shall get into last night's Monday Night Raw, shall we? Right, sorry, I should really be more prepared for this, but I'm not. Food fight. I'd love a food fights movement. Right. I've actually forgot my notes. I'm really professional. Really professional. There we go. There we go. Right. I forgot my notes, and I'm not wearing any trousers. I'm not going to lie. Right. Shall I go get them? Shall I go get my notes? I think I should. I'll put a hat over the live stream. 1 second. Sharp's movement. Love it. Bloody hell, that was bright. Right, let's get into it then, shall we? Monday Night Raw, the joys of it. I fell asleep halfway through, by the way, because I was so bored watching it. So I will tell you the point where I fell asleep. We'll kick off with a Braun Strowman. He kicked off the show, and he was talking about how he's going to win Money in the Bank and whatnot, and all that crap. Finn Balor interrupted him, and whoa, bloody hell, punched my laptop. Finn Balor interrupted him, and Braun called him a little man. So Balor slapped him, which was clever of Finn Balor, wasn't it? Braun chucked him around the ring because he's Braun Strowman. And yeah, pretty boring start to Raw, if I'm honest. Kurt Angle came out, said we were going to have another match. Finn Balor versus Braun with KO on commentary. This match was all right. It wasn't as good as last week's match. Kevin Owens kept on popping up and trying to give both men kind of like motivational speeches. And both men looked confused when he did it. Like I said, it was a weird match, and it ended in a Finn Balor winning by disqualification after Kevin Owens. Well, he was up on the top rope. He was about to win Finn Balor. He was about to hit a second coup de grace, and KO just smacked him off the top rope and then smacked him with a ladder. Went to smack Braun with a ladder, but Braun caught it and chucked it up the ramp, like halfway up the ramp, which was quite impressive. But that was like the first 45 minutes of Raw, I think. All that, and it wasn't captivating, to say the least. What do we have next? We had an Elias segment, which went on for about 10 to 12 minutes, I think. And they even had adverts in between, like in the middle of it. He didn't sing a song. He was just making the crowd eat out of the palm of his hand. And Seth Rollins came out and kind of told him to piss off, basically. Seth Rollins versus Jinder for the IC title, which ended, again, in a disqualification. Jinder Mahal wins by DQ after Seth absolutely smacked him up with a chair, just like Jinder did last week to him. Seth smacks him up with a chair, makes Seth look really stupid, if I'm honest. I can get why he did it, but if he's a fighting champion and then he can't. The way I'm looking at it is that it just shows that Seth can't beat Jinder clean. If you agree with that, I can see why he did it. I can see why they booked him to do it, but win the match clean first and then smack him up with a chair, like. So, yeah, then Seth was celebrating, Jinder ran away. And then Elias absolutely, I've written words for words in my notes, Elias then twats Seth with a guitar. There you go. The one thing I did find quite cool was that, obviously, Jamie Noble was out there helping Seth Rollins. Obviously, they're two close friends after Seth's heel turn from years gone by, which I thought was quite cool. Where are we? Oh, the Nia Jax stuff was. Nia Jax is a heel now, apparently. For some reason, out of nowhere as well. Nia Jax came out to. Nia Jax is the Raw Women's Champion, right? And she's facing a jobber. She's facing a jobber, not like an Alicia Fox or anyone like that. She's facing a jobber. That's our champion. That's our Raw. And no, I said on Twitter that. Well, I'll go through the segments. Nia Jax comes out for a match. She got cut off by Ronda during her entrance. Ronda Rousey's on commentary. Nia Jax destroys the jobber and tells Ronda to get into the ring. And then nothing happens. I said on Twitter that I really wasn't invested in... I wasn't 100% all invested into Nia Jax's character. And now I'm less so. Because she's turned heel out of nowhere. Which is really strange because when she came out, she got a massive pop, to be fair. It wasn't massive, but it was a decent pop. The crowd seemed to love her, and I think it was Richmond where they are. The crowd seemed to love her, and then she just turns heel. Now she's facing Ronda Rousey, so you might think, oh, Ronda's going to get a bigger crowd reaction, which, yeah, she probably will, but the crowd still cheers for Nia Jax, and then, I don't know, I think if she turns heel now, it's just going to kill her off, basically, because for the past few months, they've been trying to push everyone to be invested in her and get behind her through this whole bullying thing, and now out of nowhere, she's now a heel. Talking about how her legs could crush her chest and all that. It's just mad. Stupid and mad. Next up, we had a tag team match between Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus the Ascension. Pretty standard. Bray, Hardy, and Matt Wyatt. Good. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy win there to retain. I assume the titles were on the line. I don't know. We had Kevin Owens versus Bobby Roode in a match where Kevin Owens won via a roll-up, but as Kevin Owens was walking up the ramp, Braun Strowman came out and started beating the crap out of Kevin Owens for what happened earlier. Bobby Roode was still in the ring at this point, cheering Braun on. Braun turns around, absolutely destroys Bobby Roode. And I believe that sets up a few matches for next week. So we're going to have the Money in the Bank filler matches for, I think, Money in the Bank's 3 weeks away, is it? So next week we're going to have Kevin Owens versus Finn Balor, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Roode. There is a women's one as well. Nia Jax is facing Natalia, I think. I think there was another. I can't remember. Next up, Sammy. At this point, this is the point where I fell asleep before this segment because Raw was just crap, rubbish. Sammy came out and apologized on behalf of Vince McMahon, I assume, because I assume it was Vince that came up with the bloody segment last week. Came out and he apologized for that. But he apologized in a way where he could keep his heel persona, which I found quite good watching back on it. He said he was sorry, but then he went in on the crowd as well. So I liked it. He kind of portrayed that he still felt he was the victim, but he was sorry. So it was good. It was good heel work in my eyes, and he still apologised. Bobby Lashley came out, and once again, Bobby Lashley should never pick up a microphone if he's a face. I still need to look at his heel work in TNA. People still say it's good, and once he turns heel, it's going to be the best thing since sliced bread. But I just can't see it at the moment. He's just so bland, and plus he got no crowd reaction at all. They're having a match of Money in the Bank, probably on the pre-show. Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn. And I assume Bobby Lashley's going to squash Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn needs to get punished. I don't know. And we had a match similar to last week. Last week was Dolph Ziggler versus Chad Gable. This week we had Drew McIntyre versus Chad Gable. And it was a simple, fairly routine Drew McIntyre win. And it'd be interesting to see what happens now, because you can go on with these two for a little bit longer doing this, Drew and Dolph, but you kind of need them to build on that momentum and start getting, like, maybe answer an IC title shot, maybe cost Seth Rollins a match if you want to do that. Obviously, you can't do anything with top title because it's not there unless they interfere with Money in the Bank. Don't know, but you have to start building on that and building back up to be top stars. Because if Drew McIntyre isn't, I was going to say Universal Champion, but it wouldn't be that. If he's not IC Champion fairly soon, that would be disgusting, because Drew McIntyre is great. He's amazing. Next up, we had this. We had the B Team Barbecue, which was good. What I've written down is it was really funny when Bo and Axel were talking, but when they're right, Bo and Curtis Axel are really entertaining. I find them really funny. I think most people find them really funny, but this segment just kind of cemented the fact that they think the tag team division's a joke, and I don't get how you can get behind. Well, everyone's behind the B team because they're hilarious, but how could you get behind any of the other teams that were there? Like, who was there? The Revival, AOP are just not seen at all. AOP are long gone now. They were not in this segment. I don't know where they are, but they wouldn't have been able to be in this segment because they're not a jokey team. But it seems like everyone else is a jokey team on the tag team roster. So you had Breezango, you had the Ascension, you had Slater and Rhino, you had Titus Worldwide, you had the Revival, and you had the B team. I think they're all there. And just ended up in a food fight. As Smoothman said earlier, ended up in a food fight, which, okay, fine. If you want to end it in a food fight, go for it. But, I mean, it's just, we've kind of seen it all before, haven't we, with food fights, especially on like holiday shows. We've kind of seen it all before. And, I don't know, I love the B team. I think the B team are great, but the tag team division is just a joke nowadays, isn't it? It's just a joke. Oh, dear. Right. The main event, the gauntlet match, which lasted all of 17 to 18 minutes, which is disgusting. If you think back, the Elimination Chamber gauntlet match, wasn't for anything. It was just to build the Elimination Chamber. That lasted over an hour, was it? For the men's. The women's gauntlet match lasted 17 minutes. 17 minutes. Sasha Banks won when she shouldn't have won. I just wonder whether she said when she signed this contract recently that she wants to be putting money in the bank. Just doesn't make any sense. I don't know what they're doing with Sasha and Bayley now. I don't know if Bayley's going to cost Sasha the briefcase or what, but Ruby Riott put in the best performance out of anyone. Basically, the match was Bayley pretty much ran through both Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. They were the first two, like rapid. Like Liv Morgan didn't even put a move in. It was just one Bayley to belly, and that was it. And then it was, I think, Sarah Logan was in there for like a minute, 2 minutes, and then Bayley put her away with a roll up, I think it was. And then Ruby Riott came in, and they had about 5 minutes, I think. Was it 5? Probably wasn't even quite 5, but she disposed of Bayley quite easily. And then Dana Brooke came in. She didn't last long. Mickie James came in. They gave her a little bit of time because she's from Richmond, but she didn't last too long. And then Sasha Banks came in, and they had Sasha and Ruby Riott had a decent match, a decent little matchup, and Sasha won, which I would have preferred to Ruby Riott. I thought it was going to be Ruby Riott. It made obvious sense to be Ruby Riott. But it kind of just makes the Riott squad look really weak. Really, really weak. Which is sad because Ruby Riott's great, in my opinion. She's very talented. She's got every bit of potential to be a top women's champion on a brand. But they're just not pushing her that way. They're just not pushing her that way. But that was Monday Night Raw. Bland, especially after last week. You would have thought they would have tried to put on a decent show. Like I said, I don't usually fall asleep during Raw, but I did today. I did last night. Anyway, if you like that, please subscribe. What else is there? I don't know. Admin. Like, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comments if you want to ask a question for our podcast on Thursday. Subscribe, like, meh. I don't know. But yeah, well, I'll see you again later on for SmackDown and 205 Live. It should be good. We got Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe, and also on 205 Live, we've got Buddy Murphy versus Cedric for the Cruiserweights title. But yeah, I shall love you and leave you. And I shall see you again tomorrow. Yeah, it is tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow for SmackDown Live. Thank you and goodbye.